Promo code.
All right, welcome back. Today's episode of the Promo Code Podcast with Jason Gillearn is brought to you by Gladys Gailey, Heteronormativity Consultant. Heteronormativity Consultant. I said that fucking right. I hope so. I mean, this is a fucking advertisement. All right, so too many of us make assumptions about another person's sexual identity, right? So instead of assuming or saying something like, yo, that's a dude, or hey, that's definitely a bitch, stop doing that. Okay? It's important to make everyone feel safe, respected, and welcome. You know, the binary view of gender and sexuality that assumes that everybody is heterosexual is still maintained by large parts of society, and this is just not okay. You need to get with the times, and that's why you need the services of Gladys Gailey, Heteronormativity Consultant. I nailed that one. Okay, so what is Gladys going to do for you? Well, she is going to perform an in-service for you to teach you how to support non-heteronormative individuals. And in the meantime, you know, you'll help out a lot if you just don't assume people are heterosexual or that their biological sex defines their gender identity. I mean, that's easy enough to do, right? It's really easy for me because I'm a comic in West Hollywood, California. It's a fucking freak show out here. So Gladys is going to teach you or the members of your organization about heteronormativity. And Gladys is very hands-on. She told me that she will approach every heterosexual man and remind them to think about other people who don't conform to the binary view of gender and sexuality. And she will have them ask questions of themselves like, how are these people feeling? And how are they experiencing life in your office, school, or brothel? So when Gladys initially explained all this to me, I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. And it's probably because I'm a heterosexual male. I mean, at least for now. I'm not ruling anything out at this point. But as I started to understand, I did question her. I said, Gladys, when you approach heterosexual males about their behavior, aren't you assuming they're heterosexual and male, thereby going against everything that you're preaching about, you know, therefore being a little bit hypocritical? Well, I wish I never said that because then she blamed me for being part of the patriarchy and for perpetuating the skewed view that cis men should have more privilege than women or non-binary people, which has enabled us to control the conversation and squash other voices, you know, throughout the history of time, or some bullshit. I kind of tuned her out, but she had a point. So I apologized to Gladys, which was easy to do because it wasn't sincere, but she accepted, so all good. The bottom line is this: heteronormativity is a problem. But to be fair, I don't think men even knew it was a problem. It's just the way it was. I mean, when I was younger, if you were around like the water cooler at work, you'd say something like, well, you're in a bad mood, dude. Didn't get any pussy last night or what? Assuming that your coworker was a man and also assuming that he loved pussy, you know, just because it's warm and wet and just incredible. But sorry, you can't do that, okay? Because you really don't know. Gladys reminded me of all this, and she's right, especially now. And interestingly enough, regarding the water cooler, Gladys told me that studies have shown that heteronormativity has been historically much worse around the water cooler. Gladys wasn't sure why this was the case, but she said it probably goes back to like the Neolithic era when men created water control systems which provided water for crops Then they wouldn't have to search for water. They could just sit around and talk about who they gang raped that day. I could see her getting angry as she was telling me the story, so I just changed the subject. Never knew that, though. Anyway, I've always known that water coolers were problematic. I mean, the few times I've been fired for sexual harassment, it was around the fucking water cooler. Yeah, back in the 90s, my coworker at the time bent over to get a cup and drink some water, and I told her, "Wow, you have unbelievable tits." Now, I know how bad that sounds, but look, in my defense, honestly, I didn't even know I fucking said it. I was completely transfixed, like in a fucking haze or something. I mean, that's how great her tits were. I do remember her saying, "What did you just say to me?" Because that's when I snapped out of it. But again, I literally didn't even know I fucking said that. I mean, at least until I saw the video. I think the other reason she was angry was because that was the first thing I ever said to her. So that didn't help either. But again, the first mistake I made that day was assuming that she was a woman, and I own that. But then again, if you saw her, you'd understand. That was no dude. But I digress. But look, the second time I got canned for sexual harassment, it was totally my fault, okay? I wasn't the victim like the first time. But I'm getting off track here. So Gladys told me there is lots that you can do to become an ally, you know? You can join the Gay Straight Alliance, the GSA. Hell, you can go gay yourself, then join the GSA with one of your straight friends, turn them out one night, then everybody's fucking gay. You definitely won't assume your coworker is straight after boning them. There's a safe bet. So after Gladys does her in-service, you might well find out that some of your colleagues are non-heteronormative. On that note, if you find out what's going on with Gladys, can you let me know? I'm still in the dark on that one. Very nice person, though. All right, that's it. Go to Gladys's website. Type in the promo code In the Dark. Killer Billy Squier song, by the way. I'm guessing 1981, I think. Gotta look that shit up. You're going to get 50% off. Now, this is an extra service that Gladys does. You're going to get half off her coming into your house, your company, wherever the fuck your water cooler is, and putting that big 5-gallon thing on her fucking back. I've seen her do it. It's pretty impressive. And hauling that toxic fucking piece of shit out of there. Okay? And she's going to replace it with gender-neutral water jugs. Wow, you have incredible jugs. That would have got me shit canned too. All right, cool. Go to irishcomic.com. Donate to the podcast if you are super cool. Got 2 donations. Email those rad dudes. Thanks, lads. Very cool. Thank you. Subscribe to the podcast, please, and leave a review. Got a few funny-ass reviews. Love that. And thank you always for listening to the Promo Code Podcast with Jason Gillearn.
Oh my God.